What's up, guys? Hey,
Welcome back
Yeah,
for
hello.
after a long time to the Nip Backer podcast. I forgot the name because it's been so long.
It has been too long, unintentionally, of course,
yeah.
as mentioned whenever we last filmed, because
Yes.
unfortunately we all have lives.
Four teenagers that start a cricket podcast won't have lives, but we actually do. Not great ones, but we still do have lives.
Yeah, barely.
Barely. We
Let's
are in
not get
12th
too
grade
personal
after all.
here. Yeah.
But yeah, so today's episode is long overdue, definitely. It has been, I think we've all seen it. We've all happened. This episode, we're not gonna. It's a partial dedication to one of the most legendary cricketers who have ever played the game. Personally, my favorite cricketer, and will forever be my favorite cricketer because I would still like to see him play for his county. Today, this episode is partially. Wait, shit. Cut this part out. It was a waffle. My bad. It was a waffle. Uh,
I'm not cutting this out.
damn you, Rishabh. I had like a streamlined thought and then something popped up and I got distracted. This episode is partially dedicated to James Anderson himself,
Yeah.
future Sir James Anderson, as you can see in this wonderful photo that I somehow extracted in the annals of the
Oh,
internet.
quadrangle.
Yeah,
Future
he's retired. It's
bowling his speeches to Sir Frozen
Yeah.
Penguin.
we only heard half of that. We heard half
I
of
just
that
heard so
sentence.
frozen penguin. I'm like, what?
I only heard peaches. I didn't hear anything else.
Cut that out, cut that out, cut that out. It's about cricket.
You will find out. Oh my God.
So yeah,
It's
he
been
made his
5 minutes into
debut,
our first podcast
Fun
after
one,
return, and we are already back to our old selves.
That's fun.
but that's what makes us us.
Yeah, I think I have
Yeah.
occasionally every podcast we come up with a unintentional slogan for the podcast, and Kriti saying I had a streamlined thought, but then something popped in my head and it broke everything is a very good description of what happened in the podcast.
Just put that in dark black quotes. I had a streamlined thought, but something popped into my head. This is why I'm a stigma. And then just post it online.
Oh, oh,
Watch the cat rolling.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Can we get back to order? James Anderson made his test debut in 2003. He got a fifer in his first ever match against Zimbabwe at Lord's. It seemed poetic that he had his final match at Lord's, even though he was robbed of a fifer. Despite, I mean, see, look, Gus Atkinson is great, and like it is a testament to just Jimmy Anderson's being like, I'll always do it for the team. Like, imagine how poetic it would have been if he ended with a fifer as well. He was still a fantastic bowler, but he's still forever like that. Those few wickets behind Shane Warne, and like I wonder if it ever irks him that he's in touching grass for beating Shane Warne, but he hasn't crossed Shane Warne.
So the thing with Jimmy Anderson is, right, and I've always wondered that with most cricketers, right? Do you really care if your average is like 25 and it drops down to 26, or your bowling strike rate goes up, or you haven't reached the amount of wickets as one of your contemporaries has? Like, does it ever dawn on you? Like Virat Kohli just notices his T20 average dropping from 53 to 49, right? Does he ever think about those sort of things? I guess you wouldn't, but I really hope they would, right? Because then it invokes a feeling of competitive and individualism, right? That you like with cricketers. That that competitive attitude. That wait, I want to be the best in the world. I have these statistics. I'm so proud of them. So that's the thing with Jimmy Anderson, right? Overall, remove the wickets, and he's a bowler that averages 26, less than 4 wickets a game, but decent economy, 2.7 or 2.8 with, and then you put in everything else like 7 or 4 wickets, 188 test matches, or what? How many? 35 wicket hauls, 3 or 4 10 wicket hauls. So that's the thing with Jimmy Anderson, right? That's what I think Jared Kimber was talking about. Jimmy Anderson by himself as a product is not going to win you a test match. But what he's going to do is be relentless, put pressure on the opposition, dot it up, and make sure the opposition goes nowhere. While the bowler at the other end attempts to, he can leak runs if he wants to. That's why Mark Wood and Jimmy Anderson, or Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson works so well. Because one tightens up at the other end, and the other one is allowed to swing in and do whatever he wants to get a wicket, right? Bowl a little fuller, bowl a little shorter, try to hit the stumps as much as possible, while Jimmy Anderson just bowls that good length outside of some batsmen leaving it. So I think Jimmy Anderson is a great pair bowler when the conditions are not in his favor, especially.
I see a lot of comparison in baseball. You have different kinds of pitchers. One is called the innings eater, which is he is well, it's a little different in baseball because he doesn't have the best stuff, which Jimmy Anderson does, but he'll give you a lot of work. If you just need someone to get yourself over the line, if you need somebody to just throw, even if you leak a few rounds, you have this innings eater that you can just plug in and you play. Jimmy is the combination of an innings eater and a high quality starter, all in one. The guy can like bowl until his heart gives out, which takes a long time. Takes a very long time, and we heard Peter Moores, right, talk about that, like he thinks he still has a lot left in the tank.
Jimmy still thinks he has a lot left in the tank. So does Ben Stokes. Everyone knows.
Except Brendan McCullum, clearly.
I think Brendan McCullum is so jaded by like just watching Jimmy Anderson bowl because it invokes those memories of him getting him out. And also, he's not Kiwi, right?
Yeah.
So it must hurt.
It's this thing of, especially in baseball, these are like oxymorons, right? An innings eater and a like quality starter are so different, and you will never find those two qualities in the same person. And it's, I guess, similar in cricket as well. We are talking about pairings between, Broad and Anderson, Wood and Anderson, where one person can afford to leak runs and bowl at high pace, while the other works as an anchor, works from, holds one end down completely, often his own end at Old Trafford. But it's this thing of it's an anomaly, and this guy has managed to keep it going for so long. It is going to be so weird to see him not there anymore in an England side. That's going to be a like mindset change that I'm going to take a little bit to come to terms with that. Oh, he's not playing. He's not on that side.
Yeah, so being a bowler, I like James Anderson has been like my idol since like I started watching cricket. Because like the fear he invokes in the batsman's mind, even without getting him out. Like if you see the 2014 series, I think he got Kohli out like 4 or 5 times. I don't know because I didn't start watching cricket at that time, but that battle was like talked about so much because Kohli struggled. I mean, you could see that even in 2014, Kohli was a very well established batsman. I mean, the 2012 over against Malinga, that just showed that Kohli is there. And 2013, 2014, it was just like Kohli was always a well-established batsman, even when he came to England. So Anderson getting that. So Anderson is ball to like Sachin in his prime, Kohli in his prime, and Gill in his prime, and gotten the better of all three. That just shows like the longevity of this person. I mean, like 21 years without giving up a single kilometer, without giving up on that he's still hitting like 95% on the 6 meter length outside off. So that, I mean, I don't think like you give him like get the best other bowler. I mean, like who else? Get Hazelwood. Hazelwood is I think like 80%, 80, 85, and Anderson is still 95 at 42. And Hazelwood
Udit's
is
Australian
in his
heart will
30s.
reject whatever you say about Hazelwood.
Look, Arham is entitled to his opinion, though it may be wrong. He's freedom of speech in India, fair enough. I'm just saying, look, the thing with Anderson is, right, Anderson is a hodgepodge of everything. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't think Anderson is the most naturally talented bowler to ever exist, right? Anymore. At least when he crossed 30. Up till 30, he was quick. He had an outswinger. He wasn't that.
Excuse me. He got better with age. He got even better with age. What do you mean? He got better after 30.
He got better after 30. My bad. Udit, my bad. He got better after 30.
I reject your Anderson slander.
The thing with Anderson is, right, from 2003 to 2010, the major ball bowled in Test cricket was the outswinger outside off stump. Bowl it straight, tempt him into nicking one outside off stump, right? He has that classic outswinger that pitches a middle and then hits off. He's done that multiple times, right, throughout his career. So that's his stop delivery when the ball is swinging. But the thing with Anderson is, right, he also has a nip backer, a nip away. Then he doesn't have a great bouncer, but he can use the bouncer very well with accuracy, right? Nip backer, by the way. Yeah, that's all.
Happy realization, buddy. Happy realization.
The thing with Anderson is England is a place where they take care of their bowlers extremely well when they have an elite athlete. Mark Wood wouldn't have lasted in India or Sri Lanka or maybe even South Africa, right? He would have only lasted in high
Agreed.
performance centers. And he still bowls 150 in wheels at 34 years of old, which is like kind of unheard of, to be honest. With Anderson is right. Do you remember a bowler named Darren Goff or Cody Walsh? Yeah.
Of course.
Courtney Walsh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Walsh has the same amount of wickets as Anderson does in first class cricket, right? He has the same amount of wickets. So but Courtney Walsh obviously did it at a much lower level, which goes to show how much care England actually put into Anderson, how much, and they tried to remodel his action in 2004 or 2005 as well, right? And they nearly ruined him. So they've taught Anderson, and Anderson is an extremely good leech, right? He just sucks in information and just learns as much as he can. So he has every single delivery in test in cricket needs to have, but not with elite pace. So that's why I think Anderson struggles a little bit on conditions that don't help him, at least used to, because when you don't have those skills Anderson didn't used to have, you bowl channel outside off stump and it doesn't work, right? It just doesn't work. They keep blocking you. So Anderson eventually ends up with figures like 1 for 16, like 25 overs, or 1 for 70, 30 overs. Whereas the economy is brilliant because he keeps it tight, but he just doesn't get enough wickets. That's what my criticism about Anderson always was. He wasn't a bad away bowler. He just needs to be paired with other elite bowlers, which England didn't have at that point in time, which is why England didn't do that well. But right now, if Anderson was like 35 years old, with the skills he has right now, he would be an incredibly good away bowler as well. Because he can find any movement of the wicket. And especially with today's batsmen, they want to hit, they want to play the balls outside off stump, right? They just want to feel bat on ball. Ben Duckett, case in point, he would struggle against Anderson. He would get a lot more wickets. But in the earlier generation, on those kind of subcontinental wickets and wickets that don't help, he didn't work as well. So I'm sorry for the rant. Jimmy Anderson, great bowler. But yeah, these are things I have to say about Jimmy Anderson.
Now, before we continue, right, I feel like it's necessary to first to highlight this because I think this. Okay, this is Jimmy Anderson's thing. I
Yes.
just searched up because apparently he played for the Auckland cricket team, but that's not what I want to highlight here. I want to highlight that in his main Wikipedia page, they had to highlight the number of centuries as 0, and I think that's that in its own right is significantly more important than knowing maybe his family, his other credentials. No, his number of centuries, 0. It doesn't necessarily highlight his entire career, but like I feel like it's relevant to know that.
And now we bring you a tangent courtesy of Yuzvendra Chahal. Don't ask how he got here.
Does Chahal have more not outs in the IPL than Kohli?
No.
No.
Good question. He has a 5.29 batting average, unfortunately. Not as good as he thought.
Like the 0.29 I could account for, but
Okay,
5
listen.
runs more than I.
He has 20 innings and 13 not outs. Hey, that's really good, bro.
And he's average of 5. What?
Proof of how bad he is. How many innings has he played actually?
20. Yeah,
20.
8
Okay,
times he's
said
come out
20.
to bat in
Which
IPL.
means that 7 of those times he likely got maybe 1 or a 2 or a duck.
Guess his high score.
7.
No, 8. Kohli has 37.
If he
Exactly.
would have come out as the greatest ever.
He would have.
Okay, you're talking about Kohli. Yuzvendra Chahal has the same number of not outs as Warner in ODIs.
I love that. I love that fact.
You know what? I'm going to say to that. He's selfless. You can't refute that.
No,
I know you can't say anything about it.
I'm silent.
But
I
actually,
don't say
Walker's stats are crazy because he has like 21, 2200s in 120 or 160 games, which is like what, one in
Yeah.
every
You need to do
What is
math. It's over one in every 4 games.
What? Oh shit.
22 and 160. 22 and no, wait.
No,
Is my
That's
math
one in-
wrong?
1 and
No,
4
no,
and
I'm
25
wrong. I'm wrong. The one in every 8 games. It's over one in
Yeah,
every
yeah,
8
yeah,
games. My bad.
he is
I,
so
I mismatched.
really is genuinely so underrated. He's on the same level as Rohit. Like Rohit and Warner are this
Easy.
generation's openers. Like last time was maybe Sehwag and Hayden, I'd say, were the elite openers.
Not
Wait,
I don't think anyone's discrediting Warner though. He is a legend. He is
Yeah.
most certainly a legend. People acknowledge that he's a legend. The only thing that taints his entire career is Sandpapergate, which understandably so. But like, do you think he's had his redemption now? We're not talking about Warner though. We're talking about Anderson. This is an Anderson episode.
yeah, actually, okay, before that, I was gonna say between Sehwag and Hayden, Cook doesn't fall under that. Or is he?
Cook,
No, different generation.
Yeah.
Cook
Okay.
is in
Different generation.
this one as well.
And he was a horrible ODI batter.
Cook is like right in the middle, just just before
South Cut.
Rohit and just after Sehwag.
He
Yeah.
was in
Right in the
England's
middle.
him and Strauss has always been a good combination, but he was in England's one of England's many down eras.
He was the bridge.
I
Yeah.
think he was the only thing that made people think that England were a decent side during his time period, because if it wasn't for Cook in his like bulk, slow snail run, England would have toppled like a house of cards, which they did multiple times, but still.
To be
So-
fair, Cook didn't always score that slowly, did he? I mean, look, he had three amazing shots. He had a cut, like one of the best cuts I've ever seen. Then he had an amazing pull shot. Then he flicked. He was like the penultimate English opener. Dodgy, stodgy, good looking, Tom Cruisey, tall.
I was like saying I've been trying to get like a couple of my non-cricket friends into cricket, and like I was trying to describe to them who Alistair Cook was, and I think I mentioned this before. They described him as square jaw guy, and I
Oh,
think
yeah.
one day they were playing Roblox, and then all three of us came to the cumulative conclusion that holy shit, that's very similar to Alistair Cook's head.
That's an image I'm not gonna get out of my head.
Yeah, this is what happens when you play too much Dress to Impress, which is a reference. It's a reference. It's a allusion in case anyone needs to know. Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
not
we-
ever watched or played Roblox, so
You know, if you went to the fan park in New York during the T20 World Cup,
There was
there was
Roblox.
a Roblox station in the fan park. And it wasn't like a cricket ka server, nothing. It was just Roblox. I think it was
For any confusion, Rishabh actually went to New York to watch the India-Pakistan game. He
yeah.
live watched Kohli cut one straight to point. Wide, juicy, short, long hop straight
And
to
he
point.
came
But
on and he came on the camera. Which
Yeah, come on,
ooh,
TV. I'm famous.
this isn't the best Anderson overview that we could put out there, but basically I wanted to start the conversation about why Anderson never played in the IPL. Turns out he entered the auction once, and he was the only unsold member from the England team that won the T20 World Cup back in 2010. 2010. The only unsold member from that entire this thing. Stuart Broad was going to play in the IPL. He got caught by Kings 11 Punjab, but then he got injured. He had a Kings 11 Punjab shot that said Broad.
Doesn't
Yeah.
have very
Broad is actually a kick-ass T20 bowler because you look at his stats and he averages like 20, right? And he played for
He's
Hobart.
Mhm.
very tall blonde rig. He was like the early Cameron Green before Cameron Green was Cameron Green.
I was gonna say he could have actually in T20s at least he could have remodeled himself or gone the same way as Hazelwood of reimagining himself as like a alternate, bizarro version of Broad would be like a reimagining of himself as like a T20 ka Hazelwood.
but Andrew Flintoff took the chance from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh,
That was his
Andrew-
own story. But yeah, Anderson was just
Doesn't-
he never played in the IPL, even though he put his name and never put his name in again.
Anderson gives me such Delhi Daredevils vibes.
Oh, what do you mean? He gives such
Yeah,
Mumbai
no?
energy. He gives me like Mumbai Indians old boys. He's just sitting there He'll be like, he'll be chatting with Rohit Sharma about God knows what. And they're just like sitting there. I feel like I can imagine Rohit Sharma, James Anderson, Pollard.
Yeah. No, but I feel like
I don't know, it's just my image.
I actually
Because
he'd be, more of a KKR boy.
yeah.
Interesting.
Because
Is that your
he's
internal bias playing in? Is that your internal bias kicking in?
and then he's celebrated, but he's not known as an elite T20 bowler. And KKR is more of the squad, right? The gang. We have a gang kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Anderson almost feels like he'd be part of that because he's a great test bowler, and Gigi, loves test bowlers. Morne
And
Morkel,
he'd be part of SRK's entourage after that.
oh God, oh my God,
All the parties.
he'd be the
Anand, what do
wife
you think?
in SRK's movies.
just looking at like
The premiere.
I'm sorry. It's just like all these Indian faces and then Anderson. Sorry, continue. My bad.
just looking at like Trent Bolt and then I forgot his name. What was his name? Chris Morris and all. James Anderson just feels like a perfect fit for Delhi Daredevils at that point. Not Delhi Capitals, Delhi
I was
Daredevils.
gonna say Delhi Daredevils and
Yeah.
not Capitals. Because also I'm thinking of
Not
like,
Capitals because
donned that the dark blue, like the navy England was.
yeah,
I'm thinking of that, and it's like
with like Daikin in the
so well.
Daikin just splashed on the front of the jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a really great jersey. I'll be honest.
So like I just
Honestly, I thought Delhi Daredevils is a good name. I don't know why they changed it Delhi
It's my
Capitals. It's
favorite
so
name.
boring.
It is my favorite IPL team name.
It's my second favorite after Kochi Tuskers.
I was gonna say Kochi Tuskers Kerala.
Kings. Oh, if I hear the word Kings again, you know what? No one's a king here, right? You haven't won a single trophy you haven't even come close to the trophy in like 12 years. Why are you calling yourself king? Abdicate your throne, my guy.
Oh my god.
Wait, who are the Kings? Okay, you have Kings 11 Punjab. Like Punjab, honestly, Kings 11 Punjab was so much more unique than Punjab Kings. I prefer Kings 11
Yes,
Punjab.
because
So
it's
Kings
just
11
a
Punjab
ripoff of
is your
Chennai
one
Super
king.
Kings at this point.
The less the grammar makes
True.
sense, the better the name.
Yeah,
Like Pune Warriors
So
India.
I think
Pune Warriors
was
India.
Mumbai
That
Indians.
is
Mumbai
the
Indians.
undisputed
Mumbai
best
Indians.
IPL
Mumbai
league.
Indians. My favorite is when they have like their franchisees. It's like the Mumbai Indians New York team is
Indians New York.
Mini.
Yeah,
Mumbai Indians New York.
I just showed my friend MI New York. He's like, how is Mumbai Indians playing in the MLC? And I'm like, bro, that's their franchise name. Shouldn't it be like New York Indians?
It's the same thing with MI Cape
Yeah.
Town. Mumbai Indians Cape Town. Like why?
Mumbai Indians Cape Town, yeah.
But
Indians Mumbai Cape Town. Seriously.
It would have just been funny if like all of these teams were named like Cape Town Indians, New York Indians. It would have just
No,
been
they should
like
have been called. They should have been called
it
the
would have
Cape Town
just
South
had that
Africans,
vibe to
or
it.
they should have been called the. They
Cape
should have been
Town
called the New York Americans. The New York
Yeah.
Americans.
oh my god.
New York
Perfect.
Great name, New York Eagles.
The Eagles are already a team, no? But it's not cricket related. It needs to be Mumbai Indians. It needs to be Ambani related.
That's
Oh wait, you know
Why
what a
not?
great name for Delhi would be, or Punjab, because they never win anything, right? The
I think Rishabh, kindly cut this part out. I think there's a limit.
yeah.
Yeah, that will get us cancelled. This part is
That will get us
completely gonna get us cancelled.
yeah, let's get back to cricket. By the way,
I'm
James
surprised.
Anderson has 59 ODI wickets.
He's the
Confirmed.
leading ODI wicket taker for England. He still is, and he retired. He retired nearly a decade ago. That's wild. Adil Rashid has 199 ODI wickets, nearly 200 wickets, whereas our beloved James Anderson, Adil Rashid is 70 wickets behind Anderson.
And the funny thing was
So
about
he's
Anderson, he's
still
a calm guy, right? And then he was on stage having beer, and then everyone around him erupted. That was one of the greatest cricket moments ever. I think it should be a retirement moments ever.
For me, he'll always be the greatest test bowler. I'm sorry to go against you with it. Whatever your views, I completely agree with them. And yeah, the vibes he just gives out, that'll always like remain for me like the most important thing for a fast bowler. He's not like He's not like what you say, too aggressive. He's not too mellow down like Bumrah. He's right at the exact sweet spot where he knows what he's doing. He knows what he needs to do. I mean, well, he himself told that he has like at least 2 years in him, and he's still retired for the sake of the team, just before crossing one. So that just shows like he's such a team man. He doesn't care about personal milestones. I mean, 700, and he still doesn't care that he needs like those 10, 15 more to get over one.
I just have a like realization I came to. James Anderson is Schrodinger's bowler. This guy
How so?
is everywhere and nowhere. Like he's so
Nowhere at the same
yeah.
time.
He's two things at once. He's like we were talking about how accurate he is. If you see his pitch map, he's so accurate around that length, good length, or back of a length. And you associate that with spinners like Lyon, like Ashwin, right? And he has that same level of accuracy. And we were talking about how he can be an anchor but still bowl peaches. Like he is so many things at once, personality wise, skill wise, in every sense of the word. So he is literally Schrodinger's bowler. You don't know what you're getting every single match.
But he's still amazing. He's still a fantastic bowler. But then you look at like the way he's tried to market himself, at least, or the way he's tried to make cricket more accessible as possible, more as accessible as possible. That's why he keeps putting out like media stuff. That's why he has his own podcast. He's tried his own podcast before with not just cricket. It's like a very niche thing in the cricket community, I guess. But not just cricket was something he did as well. Now it's tail enders. He tries to show up for interviews and documentaries and anything and everything. And you realize at the heart of it, he's someone who just loves the game so much and he wants it to be for everyone and to be made as easy as possible, which is very nice to see. And yeah, I'm gonna miss him. Like, I think the whole reason why I fell in love with Test cricket was the first Test match I ever like properly saw, like in proper. I'd seen like Test matches here and there, but the first time I ever sat down to watch an entire Test match was this one match. It was England versus New Zealand just before the World Test Championship in 2021. Um, there was a two-match Test series. England lost it. They were bad. So yeah, this was we don't
It was
2021 is
just
not a
before the
good year for
basketball
England.
era, I guess. Just the last
This
series
is
before the basketball era.
Lever was after the West.
basically West Indies. This is 2022. West Indies was the last time it was like it's still a setup. This is like in the heart of that really bad period. It was in the middle of COVID. Everything was just uncertain, but these guys were still playing cricket. They were still playing a lot of cricket. And I remember he was. I don't know if Stuart Broad was playing in that Test match, but I think he was. And I just remember watching the entire game from start to finish for a full day and just thinking that what an amazing bowler Anderson is. And slowly, like I started falling more in love with cricket. I remember that same year, 2021, England had come to tour India for Test match series. Third Test match was the funniest shit you'll ever see in your life. I recommend people to just watch the highlights if they can. It was a 2 day Test match. It was the greatest thing you'll ever see. He played in that Test match. Anderson played in that Test match, and it was a joke. It was a joke of a Test match.
I don't think he bowled in the second innings. I mean, in the first innings. No, wait. No,
He
he didn't
didn't
bowl
bowl
in
in
the
the second
second innings.
innings.
I think
He did
he
not
didn't
bowl
bowl
in
in
the
the
second
second
innings.
innings. We needed like
I,
60 or something, and then
the ball was given straight to Jafta. He didn't bowl. Pink ball, the opening bowler was supposed to have been Anderson Broad. No, it wasn't given him. But I think since then, he's been able to watch his career since 2021-ish. And then realizing that okay, this is a legendary bowler. He's been playing for so long. Been looking back on everything he's done to realize there's just this treasure trove of Anderson stuff. And to realize, I mean, unfortunately, we probably missed his more prime era with like or his first prime era. We missed his first prime era because we were all too young and we didn't really understand Test cricket yet. For us to watch him now, I think, at least for me, after watching like everything that he'd done in the past, I started watching his career with more appreciation. He was he was pushing the status quo when it came to bowlers in terms of age, in terms of endurance, in terms of skill. Because typically when a bowler gets older, their skill deteriorates. They're just in the team for honorary sake, for just for the popularity thing, and then they slowly taper away and they fade away. Whereas he consistently stayed the best bowler in that team. while all the other bowlers were struggling, or like while the team as a collective was struggling, it was him and Joe Root in that 2021 era, that time period, that really shone out. He never dropped, never. He remained as skillful as he is. And I think that's why it's all very bittersweet for us to like see him retire, because it's like he wants to still play. He still has the capability to play. It's not like with Stuart Broad when he wanted to retire. He was very clear that I want to retire. It wasn't something that was inflicted on him. He was still the top of his game, but like I think all of us came to the thing that okay, yeah, he wants to retire, and we were fine with it. With Anderson, the way it came out and the way he still wants to play. We still want him to play. He's still very capable of playing. Why isn't he playing? So it's a bit heartbreaking because for all the basketball talk of just like we're gonna focus on him now, we're gonna do it one game at a time. We're prepping for something that's in a year and a half. That you could still technically have Anderson in the side and still cultivate fantastic bowlers while having that experience on the field. Because that on-field experience is invaluable. I guess yeah, I am feeling a bit saddened by hearing him retire because I think I think four of us have discussed this, or maybe I discussed with one of you, how I think all of us would just want to see Anderson bowl live, and now we'll really never get to see that opportunity.
Yeah, just like a couple of final thoughts, if you don't mind, if I yap a
Mhm.
little bit.
Go
I've
for it.
yapped a lot. Extra yapping session. Actually, the thing with Anderson, and a lot stems from that Kriti thing. So Anderson until 2013, right, did average 13 Test cricket, which was 21, like 23 in England and like 40 outside of England, right? So that wasn't really his prime. That was Anderson. Anderson was still considered one of the best bowlers in the world because everyone watched him when he was in England and he did just hooped it around and like, made batsmen look like idiots. So that was the thing with Anderson. But Anderson's real prime came with that outburst of skill from 2017 to I'd say 2022 or 2023 early beginning, that New Zealand tour. And then he kind of waned after that. And then in the Ashes and India, he wasn't particularly brilliant as he used to be. I think Anderson's crowning achievement will still be that 2021 Chennai spell on an absolute road where I think he castled Rahane and Shubman Gill and nearly got Rishabh Pant in the same over. And that was actually nutty, that entire over, because it felt like shit. Where are the clouds? Like, where's the green? And he's still swinging it like that. And that was his crowning moment. His personal crowning moment will still be that Trent Bridge test in 2013 when he got a 10 for and wrecked Australia. And it was nearly a Headingley pulled off by Brad Haddon, but Anderson was there and he stopped it all. So that was, I think, Anderson's two crowning achievements, I should say. But the thing with Anderson, right? Anderson is more of not really a bowler and more of a phenomenon in the sense that now in earlier India or whatever, whoever toured England, they'd be like, wait, let me test myself against Anderson. How do you go against Anderson? Can you play swing? Can you play Anderson? That's the entire England ethos of the England tour, right? How are you going to face Jimmy Anderson and what do you average against him? So it was more of him, of like a force of nature rather than a bowler. And then he's human being, right? But then they treat him almost like he's England. He is the England test. How do you go against Anderson in England? That's one of your biggest tests as a bowler. And the sad thing is that we won't get to see that anymore, right? And it's now, how do you go against Shoaib Bashir in England? There's no real there's no real thing to an England series anymore. It's not going to be there because there is no that huge star and that huge challenge that you have to face in Jimmy Anderson. You win if you negate Jimmy Anderson. That's how an England tour used to be. Um, wait, I had a lot of thoughts in England as well, right? So about the mentorship thing is I don't disagree with him being mentored because he's still gonna be in the England squad. He's gonna coach the England team. The only thing you don't get out of Anderson, he was obviously waning, right? And when someone starts waning after 40, it is a very hard thing to see them come back to what they used to be because he was just swinging it. He had the skill for it. It was just so dropping in pace and then energy. You need to get that accuracy up, right? Remember in that first West Indies test, he was
Yeah, he
bowling
was too full.
too full, right?
Yeah.
And then he was easily comfortably playing him, and it was swinging. It was really swinging. It was good bowling conditions. So I don't think you can maintain that accuracy and that pace, not because of your skill or your lack of intent. It's just that your body doesn't allow you to do that, right? And he is 41, and I know there are jokes about him being a dinosaur and everything, but he is 41 years old, and there is no coming up from this because there is no skill you can get to get your accuracy up to what it used to be, right? So there's no advantage to having an Anderson in the team anymore. Look, I would say the same thing about Wood because I mean Wood still average. I mean he's pacey, he's quick, and he's exciting, but he still went for 61 yesterday and he took 1 wicket. Right? He averages 30 in Test cricket. He gets only 3 wickets a game. So I would really, I'd like to see people select bowlers on basis of their attributes, but I still would like to see some backing behind it, some talent behind it, and some actual statistics and achievements behind it, right? Because what are you getting out of Wood that you aren't getting out of Ollie Robinson statistically and in a match situation, right? Wood's a much more exciting bowler than Ollie Robinson. But Ollie Robinson is still a better test bowler than Wood because he has better statistics, he has more wickets per games, he has better fifers, he troubles batsmen more. Right? Just because he's a boring bowler, that doesn't mean he should play Test cricket. And I'm so excited for this guy John Turner in England. He's quick, he's accurate, he's really exciting. Then you have Dylan Pennington. Sam Cook is kind of in that Ollie Robinson mode. He's 25 years old, but I mean, if he can upskill himself to the level of Jimmy Anderson, I don't see fit. I don't see why not. But um, it's just like you've played 188 freaking games, right? That's 188 into 5. Let's assume 4 days, right? How many is that? 400 plus into 88. That's what? 1,000 days of training, practice, grueling test match cricket. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. Even forget it from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint. How the hell do you do that? Especially in England, there's so much pressure on you to be the main bowler. And people keep saying Alistair Cook, he retired way too early. He retired way too early. How much is a guy going to concentrate on trying not to get out, right? When the best bowler is trying to blow your front pad off. How much can your brain take, right? How much can you take? And Anderson still wants to go. And Cook, the only reason, it's not like he stopped being passionate about cricket. He played county cricket for Essex after that. Dean Elgar still playing county cricket for Essex. It's not that they don't love the game, it's they can't take the pressure. And they're human beings, right? They might be 34 years old and 2,000 runs away from Sachin, but it doesn't stop them from being human beings and not feeling that pressure of Test cricket. So I don't mind them moving on from Anderson just because he can be a mentor and they have a new crop of fast bowlers coming through. It's not like it's Anderson and bust, right? They have a lot of talent coming in. So I'm sorry for the rant, but yeah, that's what I think about Anderson.
I think I agree because it's like, yes, we are all up in flames because it's, you know, we've heard stories about, oh, he still has a little left in the tank, and we are so used to seeing him that we're like, let him play a little more. Maybe in the grand scheme of things, if we take it a year, 2 years from now, as we see this crop of new fast bowlers come up, we'll be like, oh, it's probably gonna be a matter of a few test matches where this decision was or was not going to take place, right? If we took it past this series, then maybe we would have been a little, like, I'm sure the reception would have been a lot more different if he retired at the end of the series versus the start, for example. So in the end, it's a matter of a few matches. It's a matter of a few weeks. So yeah, fair enough.
As far as the James Anderson tribute goes, this is definitely interesting. It's very all over the place, but I think that's what we are, all over the place. And that's what makes us us, really.
Back to form.
Back to form. And like a welcome back to, I guess, us. Hopefully, regularly putting content up. We'll see. We are in 12th grade after all. Thank you so much for watching. This is definitely gonna be a long episode. So hope you guys enjoy. Like, share, and subscribe, as every YouTuber says. And yeah,
We're gonna post much more. We feel much more passionate now, and we feel much more into it now. So we're gonna post more.
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree. And
Definitely.
yeah, be on the lookout. I think future episodes will be a lot more current affairs car related. This is obviously a very special episode for Anderson because of how important he is to the game. So yeah.
And how important he is to our podcast.
Yeah.
He is one of the
namesake.
He is one of the bowlers that we had in mind when we came up with the name. Because
Like
he
very
bowls
eloquently put.
fantastic nip
So James Anderson. One last final thing on Anderson. I mean, Anderson is a bowler that you can't experience by watching his wickets, right? Because they often look like outside edges, and you think, how the hell is the batsman playing that shot, right? But then when you watch Anderson actually bowl live in a match, like how the hell do you play that? In swinger, inch perfect in swinger. And then can you really blame the batsman for just holding his bat out and just nicking that outswinger? That's what Anderson is, right? He seems very innocuous at first when he bowls and the batsman comfortably defends it. But it's that ball just after the one you comfortably play, where almost outthinking you, and you're shit scared of what he's gonna do next. Is it gonna be an instant or is it gonna be an outswing? That's the thing with James Anderson.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of James.
The artist in James Anderson. All right then. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. We will definitely post more.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.